Okay, so what we're going over right now, the NYAG going against Valve's motion to dismiss. So let's see what they say. Valve Corporation Valve, a video game developer and publisher, has built a multi-billion dollar business by embedding illegal gambling in its most popular video game franchises. The company charges users, many of whom are children, $249 plus tax, to open a virtual container known as a loot box that randomly awards users a virtual item. Despite having no in-game functionality. What? I don't know about you, but I consider this functionality. The fact I'm able to equip the skins in game and use them. Is this not in-game functionality? Okay, yeah, you know, cool. These virtual items have real world value, with the rarest items worth thousands of dollars. This is by design. Valve intentionally built its platform to enable users to sell items that they have won, either through the virtual marketplace Valve operates, the Steam Community Market, or through third-party markets that Valve actively fosters. Statements like this make me nervous, chat. They make me nervous. You know why they make me nervous? Because there is a scenario where Valve has to fight against third-party marketplaces. It exists. I don't know. Nearly every user who pays to open a loot box receives an item that is commonplace and worth pennies. True. Anyone who actually wanted such an item could obtain it for far cheaply, again, for pennies, by purchasing it through a marketplace. The only reason users pay to open a loot box is the potential of winning a valuable skin. Valve's loot box model, charging an individual for a chance to win something of value based on luck alone, is quintessential gambling. Prohibited under blah 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 blah. In bringing this action, blah 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 blah, seek to enjoin Valve's unlawful conduct and compensate New Yorkers who have been harmed. Chat, we could be getting a diabolical bag if this lawsuit, if Valve loses. We could be getting a diabolical bag. I'm just saying, I was harmed. Not really. I was not harmed. Everything I did was of my own bravado, and I'm collecting things akin to Pokemon cards. You know, chat, I don't see a difference between skins and this. I don't see a difference. It's the same shit. It is the same shit. I am oh so sorry to put it to you. If you ban skins, you gotta ban this too. Straight up. These are the same things. And you know what's crazy about getting into Pokemon? It really is like exactly the same. People go through and buy boxes of Pokemon cards for 50 bucks, 100 bucks, and they expect to pull something, and the only reason they expect to pull something is because it's worth money. If it wasn't worth anything, they wouldn't open. People pay double the MSRP for Pokemon packs to try and open something valuable, because the community deems cards like this valuable. Anyone who disagrees with that, I'd be curious as to why, besides the fact that they're digital. The only real argument they have is that the Steam Community Market, I guess Valve fosters, right? But I would argue this is a good thing for consumers. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. Anyways. Valve nonetheless asked this court to hold that this multi-billion-dollar ecosystem of randomized rewards that by design have real-world values outside the scope of New York's gambling prohibitions. Valve's scattershot theories for dismissal do not survive scrutiny. First, Valve's attempt to characterize this action as criminalizing vast categories of products, so-called mystery boxes, that are not an issue in this litigation must be rejected. The FAC includes particularized allegations regarding Valve's loot box, including the monetary losses most users incur when they pay to open one. The financial windfalls infrequently bestowed on lucky users. Okay, yeah, but it's the same thing with the Pokemon cards that they just said. It's the same thing. And Valve's direct involvement in developing marketplaces that enable winners to immediately convert their virtual items to cash, gaming hardware, or other video games, other products not mentioned in the FAC, which in any event, likely do not share these attributes, have no bearing on Valve's conduct, and cannot properly be considered a motion to dismiss. I mean, really? I don't know. Resellers ruin Pokemon, Gamma sites and pumpers ruin CS. Welcome to open markets. Pokemon cards have use. 4 cards are better. Bro, I'm also sorry, Traditions. There's not a single soul on earth really playing the TCG. Can we be honest? Can we all just be honest here? Who the collects Pokemon cards to actually go play the game? Maybe 5%. Maybe generously 5% of the total collectors. Maybe like 5%. Max. Most people just buy the rip card for the artwork. Third, Valve's stained reading of New York's gambling prohibitions runs contrary to their purpose to outlaw all forms of gambling, not specifically authorized. It is also counter to their plain meaning. The FAC alleges that Valve charges users for a chance to win valuable virtual items that can immediately be sold on a resale market that Valve created and on third-party marketplaces that Valve fosters. Users therefore clearly stake or risk something of value upon the outcome of a contest of chance or in a future contingent event, upon an agreement or understanding that they will receive something of value in the event of a certain outcome. So they're basically arguing that the loot box is gambling. There's third-party markets. Realistically, kinda, but it's again the same thing as Pokemon. Rejected Valve's claim that it is shielded love. Okay, yeah, whatever. Valve's constitutional arguments are meritless. Valve's vagueness challenge fails because Valve's conduct falls squarely within New York's gambling prohibitions. Vagueness challenges do not turn on whether courts have previously considered specific facts at issue, or else new schemes that clearly fall within statutory prohibitions would always escape scrutiny. New York's gambling prohibitions also do not implicate the First Amendment because they do not regulate conduct, but they regulate conduct, not speech. In arguing otherwise, Valve effectively possess that a business may evade New York's gambling prohibitions by simply awarding a prize that reflects speech, a contention as dangerous as it is dubious. Valve's separation of powers argument has it backwards, as the doctrine grants the Attorney General great flexibility when fulfilling her mandate to protect New Yorkers, and Valve's other constitutional arguments are equally baseless. So they're basically just saying all the they said is bullshit. The court should deny Valve's motion to dismiss. Okay, so I guess it depends if the judge actually wants to or not, right? As it comes down to him or her, if the judge actually wants to, because it's not a jury yet, right? Valve is a video game developer and publisher. Its video game franchises, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and Dota, are incredibly popular, having attracted hundreds of millions of players. Despite being free to play, these franchises are remarkably lucrative because Valve developed other means of monetizing the games. Gambling. Valve sells users a chance to win valuable virtual items through a virtual container known as a loot box. For most loot boxes, Valve charges $2.49, blah, 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 blah. When open the, blah, 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 blah. You got a random item referred to as skins. Despite having no in-game functionality, skins can be extremely valuable. Again, like, what are we talking about? How is this an argument? Did you even boot up the game? Hello? What do you mean no in-game functionality? You use the skins. Like, the lawsuit makes it sound like NFTs. Like, it makes it sound like they have NFTs, bro. That is just simply not the case. You can equip the item and use it. That's the whole utility of the skin. Skins have value due to deliberate decisions Valve has made in the design of its games and platform. Like many other video games developers, Valve enables users to sell the skins they have won, either through Valve's own virtual marketplace, Steam Community Market, or, okay, we just said this. In Valve's own words, its goal is to provide customers with a way to sell any unwanted goods to other players. Oh, this is talking about the trade hold shit. Oh, this is super old. Trade holder duration will be increased to 15 days. Oh, this is like Steam Market mobile authenticator change. It's really interesting, actually. This is super old stuff. Super old stuff. 2016. Sheesh. Anyone who actually wanted the item could obtain it far more cheaply by purchasing it through a marketplace. Not always true, but yeah, sure. Reason users purchase a key and open a loot box is to gamble. Valve has even designed the experience of opening its most popular loot boxes to look like a spin of a slot machine. Yeah, that's exclusively in Counter-Strike though. In TF2 it's not like that. In Dota, I'm not sure. Valve also ensures that skins can be readily converted to cash or goods. Users sell their items on Steam to receive funds in a digital wallet, which can be immediately used to purchase hardware, games, loot box keys, and other virtual items. Valve has also fostered third-party marketplaces, despite representing that it enforces the provision in its SSA, prohibiting such sales. For example, Valve designed Steam to facilitate transfer of virtual items through third-party marketplaces and has actively assisted such marketplace with their Steam accounts. Valve has made billions of dollars from loot boxes, both from selling keys and by charging a 15% commission, and Valve's efforts to facilitate a strong market for skins has been wildly successful. In March 2025, it was reported that the market surpassed 4.3 billion. Price Empire market cap. That's Price Empire market cap right there. They might not like the market cap stuff, chat, because it's probably not accurate. That like this number is already wrong. I assume it was higher. I assume it was higher because Price Empire supplies were wrong. Like it's actually more than 4.3 billion, but anyways. Woven throughout Valve's brief are alarmist insertions about a long list of mystery box products that Valve contends will run afoul of New York's gambling prohibitions if the court sides with OAG. These claims are both improper and unsupported, and the court should not take that as an initial matter. Valve's self-serving claims about purported similarities between its loot boxes and various products that are nowhere mentioned in the FAC and not before this court are entirely inappropriate for consideration for a motion to dismiss. So when Valve brought up Pokemon cards, sport cards, Labubus, etc., that's what they're talking about. And said the court must accept the plaintiff's allegations as true and may not rely on facts outside the complaint alleged by the defendant or dispute the complaint's allegations against it. So they're basically saying, hey, we didn't even bring that up. Shut the fuck up. Even though they're similar. That's basically what they're telling the court, like, yo, don't bring this up. We don't care. Which I don't know if that's actually right. Like that, it should be able to be compared publicly, in my opinion at least. The rationale for our standard is particularly compelling here. There's a good reason to believe that products are not so similar as Valve's contends. For example, most Valve skins and awards are worth pennies, but lucky users can win incredibly valuable ones. Okay, but that's the same thing for Labubu, same thing for Pokemon cards, same thing for like almost anything else. So again, what are we talking about here? Like this does not make any sense. So yeah, they're worth pennies, but Valve doesn't make them worth pennies. We do. We determine that they're worth pennies. We determine that like this blue skin in my inventory is worth 36 cents. We decided that. Valve didn't decide that. So that's a pretty important distinction, I think. There's no reason to assume that the likelihood of financial loss and potential for significant win or significant gain exists with many of the mystery boxes Valve's list. Physical blind boxes, grab bags, and box descriptions. Yes, there is. What? What are we talking about? There absolutely is. There's valuable Pokemon cards in almost every pack. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like a lot of the NYAG's arguments. Like they don't really, but like it's just tilting. It's just tilting because Valve didn't set the price for this, and there absolutely is reason to like think Pokemon cards are valuable. In addition, Valve's assertion that trading cards are of course perfectly legal is wholly unsupported by the case's sites, which made no findings about whether purchasing trading cards is gambling. These cases simply held plaintiffs that cannot be stated as a cognizable inquiry under RICO. And just because there is no injury does not mean something is not gambling. Indeed, it appears baseball card manufacturers themselves believe their products may implicate gambling laws, but as they have introduced no purchase necessary options to avoid gambling charges. So they're kind of like doubling down. They're saying that the model is illegal. Steam Wallet functions like a stored value card, enabling users to directly purchase video games. Kind of true. Sure. Skins are something of value. Any money or property, any token, exchangeable for money or property, any form of credit or promise, directly or indirectly contemplating transfer of money or property or interest therein. Yeah. Valve skins fall within each prong. This is because unlike many other game developers, they have monetized loot boxes. Valve enables users to sell skins they have won through both virtual blah 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 blah. Same thing. Skins are property. Something of value prong includes money or property, although technically we don't own them versus with the In terms of service, we don't own them. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm trying to find something that they say about third-party marketplaces, because that's the thing we would actually care about, right? Because I think worst case scenario for this, everything gets disabled in New York after a certain date. Valve argues that third-party marketplaces that enable skins to be bought and sold for cash and do not show that skins are exchangeable for money. This puzzling assertion is contrary to the plain meaning of exchangeable, capable of being exchanged. That is true. We can trade with users. The sole case on which Valve relies for its proposition has nothing to do with whether a prize is exchangeable for money, and instead concerns whether a prize is worth more value than the amount invested. Valve asserts that skins are not exchangeable for money because the SSA prohibits their sale. Valve cites no New York authority nor OAG aware of any holding any contractual provision that purports or blah 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 all these. Indeed, Valve's only support for their proposition is dicta by 2 out-of-state counts that found virtual items were something of value. Oh god. Chat, we might be cooked. Skins are exchangeable for property. Skins are exchangeable for property in at least 2 ways. First, users sell skins on the Steam community market. Second, I'm trying to find something about third party, bro. This is so annoying. Users receive credit or promise. Yeah, okay. Like, bro, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. I want to see something on third party marketplace, chat. Sorry. Chat, so, okay, yeah. So we're through the whole thing now. So I think that they're pretty much... I don't think the court's going to dismiss it. I don't think they're going to go along with Valve's motion to dismiss. That's my impression of this. That's the conclusion. I don't think they're gonna go along with this. It's gonna go to trial. It's gonna go to trial, unfortunately. They're gonna have to actually fight it. It's not gonna be that easy. If they dismissed it, GG, but you know, you can't expect that to happen. It's always low percentage odds. Because they can always argue over the thing is, at least Valve got a lot of the dumb claims out. Like, notice how they didn't say anything about like Valve's rebuttal in regards to underage stuff, like in the video game, like killing people, like how that's wrong and stuff. Valve basically said that's stupid and why are you bringing that up. They didn't even mention that, though they did mention the underage aspect of opening loot boxes. So it appears all the dumb that was going to be in the trial initially is going to get thrown out, and they're only going to go to trial on certain things. I think we're going to trial, boys. We're going to trial.